What's up, what's up? This is Boss Ladies Live Radio Show. Speaker Studio, sponsored by Boss Ladies Inc. Welcome, everybody. Whatever the mind can believe and conceive, the mind can achieve. Napoleon Hill. It's from the Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill. Let's get focused. Let's get ready. Green Box Revolution coming soon. Trying to find the best partner in crime that you know. What's up, what's up? This is Boss Ladies Live Radio Show. Speaker Studio, sponsored by Boss Ladies Inc. Welcome back to another show. Just taking this randomly, not, got a certain topic. If you're live on Facebook right now, just send me something in the chat room. Push a like button, a cry button, a laugh button. Those little buttons down there at the bottom. Yep, and welcome back to the Boss Ladies Live Radio Show. Really, I just want to give a big ups to the Lord Almighty, making it possible for me to get on the air and make some positive influence in the air. Because I notice it's a lot of negative influence in the air. But it's a wonderful thing when you be able to apply that positive energy somewhere and it really touches home, where it need to go. Instead of places of offense and a whole bunch of other stuff that we don't need to be even dealing with because it's not positive. So the reason why I done this show is because it's been a big dream of mine to broadcast and have talk radio about whatever topics, and people are free to say what they want to say. Really use their constitutional right to freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? So I hear a lot of talking, but speaking out and speaking up is not really, we only look to certain people for that. But I believe, and I looked at myself and said, oh, you got to look at the leader you want to become and be that one. So, by hearing that a couple times and understanding that through a couple situations and circumstances, now I'm able to see that positivity in the air is way more or less stressful than negative air. And what I mean by that is that sometimes we take social media too seriously. I never thought that besides entertainment that social media would be something that you really put a high emphasis on, because this is just my opinion. Comment below. Let me know your thoughts about this social media thing. I'm just rambling off some stuff just so you might want to, hey, boss lady, let's talk about, why I can't look at my man's phone. Like, stuff like that, It's not all just business with me, This is a radio show where people are really free to say what they want to say. Get it off their chest. You can do it right here on the Boss Ladies Live radio show. Yeah, let me clear my, so hey, it is what it is. But I had to do something when I ring that bell. School is in, and I have something to elaborate on. I'm going to give a special shout out to Colin Sexton for giving me this awesome YouTube video on Napoleon Hill, how he explains the master key to success. It's like a think and grow rich video. It's off one of his best-selling books. So if you up on reading or listening, up to that point where you're whatever the mind can believe and conceive, the mind can achieve type stuff, then that's the video on YouTube one needs to be watching to get some of that, like I said, some of that positive energy. And through this, I see that you're able to have a choice between, living the life that you want and getting everything out of it that you want. Like, you just not here for no reason. There's a purpose. And that's pretty much what my mind believes, that I'm going to believe that I have the purpose and I can conceive it every day and can achieve it every day, that I'm going to find out what that purpose is. And that purpose is right now. What you got a passion for, what you wake up doing every day, and how much it matters to you and how much you're going to work to get the results that you need. So agree with me or agree with me not. Comment below. We ready to go. Boss Ladies Inc. running 24/7, 7 days a week. You better believe it. So, what else I was going to say? I did mention the new show, Soul Ties. Yeah, still studying on that. Soul Ties is really gonna be a good 15-minute saturated show. Like that one show I did on Silence is Criticism. I think that was one of my best ones. I really had a lot of thought to that show, you know what I mean? And had one of them days where criticism was getting on my nerves. So I said maybe I should do stuff when it gets on my nerves. I have better shows. But let me know. Comment below on the Spreaker Studio app. If you ain't got the Spreaker Studio app, what are you waiting for? So you can hear all my shows all at one time. So every time I make a show and you got that link, it's going to notify you right away that Boss Lady got a new show. So, get on that. Spreaker.com. Just type it in the Play Store. You can do it on your iPhone, that phone, your Galaxies, whatever you got. We available. Boss Lady, sponsored by Boss Ladies Inc. Give a shout out to myself real quick. Let's see if I can get on Twitter real quick. Yeah. I'm going to get on Twitter real quick, y'all. But first, quote for the day. Leadership Tips says, every morning I get up and look through the Forbes list of the richest people in America. If I'm not there, I go to work. Like, leadership is an action, not a position. Donald McGannon. Inspiring. I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. Take heart. I have overcome the world. John 16:33. And let's see. Some of it I'm not going to read because some of it is just stupid and I don't agree with it. So comment below. Let me know that you're out there at least. Hey, Boss Lady DDs, or whatever you call me. Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Let me know. Let me know if you need to be on the Reverb fan page for the music. And shout out to all my Twitter people that's listening out there, connecting with me right here on the Boss Ladies Live radio show. And Mark Page just thanked me for the retweets this week. Much appreciated. You are welcome, honey. You are welcome. All right, let's give him a hand. Back where I was doing. Woo! All right, Mark, just keep them coming. They're awesome. Great. Got 4 minutes left to go, so I'm looking through this master key because I only went to the mastermind principle part when he talks about when you get with 2 or more people working together to obtain a certain purpose. And he compared it to the 12 disciples of Christ. And I thought that was pretty interesting because they did form an alliance. They did do the work. And they controlled their mental attitude. And they agreed a lot with others. There's no way they could have walked that long together like that and didn't push through certain issues because we're all human. So we understand it from that point of view. And it was just not more so the glamour of the fact that it is what it is and it said what it said. But the glamour, I think, was based on the fact that they were able to coincide with each other regardless of the circumstances. I thought that was an awesome outlook on back to whatever the mind can believe. They really must have believed in what they were following, so they achieved wherever they went. I really didn't hear about them suffering until the crucifixion. But like I said, this is just a random show just to see who's listening, where people's minds at, because just like you're fighting to be free, so am I. So why don't we do this fight together? Because 2 or more can form an alliance. There's a lot of things that need to be conquered in this country as a community and as a people. And those that are out there that think like kings and queens supposed to, regardless of the culture or environment, we already know that as leaders we have to stand up and be on one accord. That way everything else can fall into place where they need to be, because that's the position that you find when you're working on your purpose instead of your pleasure. Because pleasure done took me everywhere but where I needed to go. And it's a good feeling to work on purpose, because now you're starting to learn life and enjoy life. And stop beating up on life and let life beat up on you. Get happy. Get around some other happy people and do what you need to do. That's just all there is to it. There's nothing to it but to do it. And that is the truth. So, let's talk about it. We got 1 more minute left. You are welcome to join me anytime in the chat room. You know what I mean? But that's what I do. Positive stuff that's latest books out. I love to read. I love to write. By me being a songwriter, that's what I do. Research all the time. So that's a little bit about me. Tell me about you. Like I said, comment below. Let me know. But that's it. That's all I got to say. Good afternoon, morning, noon, and evening. And I will see you soon.
And we will answer your call as soon as possible. Thank you for choosing. By the way, to ensure you're getting great service, your call may be recorded or monitored.